7.3 CTFM. This is Eyewitness News. This particular segment is Point Blank, brought to you by Kivo Pepe Mokosho. This is the Election Bureau. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we are on the campaign trail. My guest is Director of Communications for the Dr. Umaru Bawumia campaign, Dennis Miracles Aboagye. You're welcome to Point Blank.
Umaru Cowboy Sanda.
Thank you. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Former DCE, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the local government thing?
Yeah. I'm the executive secretary for the Interministerial Coordinating Committee.
Are they talking to each other?
And I am the presidential staffer responsible for local government.
No, you're a big man. Are the local government agencies talking to each other?
Local government is one of the most watertight space you can find.
So the decentralization agenda is going on?
Yeah, but we are not there. I think we still have a lot of work to go.
Something because, that Professor Hoy started for us is
1992, 88.
Yeah,
it's not easy. You know the way.
But we say we want to give power to the people. So why are we not?
I think one of the difficulties, the human factor is really playing a role in this whole decentralization business. So you have an MC who at the time he was MC advocating decentralized, then he becomes minister, then he doesn't want to.
He wants to control the power at the
because we are trying to send political power, we are trying to send admin power, we are trying to send fiscal, which is the money. People are happy to send the admin. The political sometimes small. But the money, fiscal, there now, nobody wants to send it.
So, as our structure currently is the District Assembly Common Fund, that's the only national source of income for assemblies, correct?
I mean, yes, but that should be the only, actually. I mean,
but it's not plenty.
Actual decentralization, what we need to do really is to seed some of the revenue we collect from the district to the national kitty to the district themselves.
Okay.
You know, elsewhere in the world, when you go to a certain county, whatever you spend within the county, a small percentage stays there. And that's where we need to begin to look at. So that it makes counties begin to hold themselves accountable and responsible for even the people they are attracting into the area. So you go to, let's say, London County, and you spend 4 days there. Remember, you are putting pressure on their utilities. You are putting pressure on their infrastructure. You are impacting their sanitation and everything. So you go and buy Alewa, and Alewa costs 10 cedis. Maybe central government takes their VAT, but there's some small 1% that stays at the county level, and then it helps them to generate even more. Because relying solely on central government, this common fund, is not entirely.
So at the heart of all of this is revenue generation. Let's segue that into Dr. Bawumia's digitalization agenda. The former president makes the point that he has run away from the economy and doing digitalization. It's something that lots of NDC people have been saying. I asked him that question the last time we had a media encounter. How is the digitalization agenda going to help with the decentralization agenda?
Digitalization is economy. It's important that we put that on record. I mean, even the NDC, they are aware. The former president knows. You know, what's economy? What's economy? Digitalization is economy. The fact that you can call me today on Zoom and we can still hold this program and seamlessly still have this conversation doesn't mean that if I'm not in this studio, the Point Blank didn't happen. So if somebody says that because Miracles didn't come to the studio, there was no Point Blank, that's a problem. Because Miracles could still join Point Blank on Zoom, probably even make it more efficient and effective. So that whilst he's at it, he's doing something else. You know, so digitalization is economy. It's important. The 2024, you cannot be discussing digitalization and say it's not economy. The economy we discuss in 2024, the fourth industrial revolution economy that we talk of, is digitalization. That is what it is. Everybody is moving towards that space. That's why when you go to the first world countries where we want to be like them, the Amazons are the ones now driving the space. You know, everything you are seeing happening around the world now is moving towards. We cannot continue to live in the Gorgesburg, space. So Dr. Umaru Bawumia has been talking economy. 99% of Dr. Umaru Bawumia's manifesto is the economy. 99%. The manifesto speaks of business environment, how he's going to help expand the rebounding economy, how he's going to help improve living conditions in terms of reducing cost of living, how he's going to ensure that young girls and young women have access to the needed credit to do their small businesses, and at the same time have access to education in an equitable manner. And this is all economy. Everything we discuss in this space is economy.
But the big issue
I am beginning to realize that rather what the former president wants to say is that economic indicators. Maybe he's misunderstanding and misapplying and miscommunicating. If you say, let's talk about the economic indicators, I think that is the conversation.
Let's talk about...
But you are wrong when you say that, talk about the economy. The person puts taxi drivers in Ghana in a room and said that, listen, Uber Yango is knocking all of you out of business, but we need you to be productive. So how do we fix it? Let's get a local app so that taxi drivers can also have their app and get them to be more productive, increase their revenue so they can contribute. That is economy.
I guess what people say when they say you run away from the economy is to remind you that you have said when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you. The exchange rate is not looking good.
Every single time Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has spoken, since November 4th he was elected, he has always reiterated this.
November 4th? Today is
November, 2023.
That's what I'm saying. So today is his anniversary. Today is November 4th.
Oh, yes. So
a
year ago by this time,
you should be doing a party.
Yes, we're moving towards the Craspo Stadium.
You should be doing a party.
So really, every time he's always insisted that statement he made then is still true and still remains true. And it hasn't changed.
So it has flawed himself.
But the statement was not meant to flaw anybody.
It was meant to flaw John Mahama.
No, it was meant to make a statement of facts about the structure of our economy.
Under John Mahama.
No. That he never said that. He said that
it was a lecture.
He said that He said that. You see, we continuously think that when somebody raises a point, then it is against you. He made a point about Ghana's economy.
Yes, under
he said our economy since independence.
I was at Central.
He said we have been running the Gojisberg economy. How is that a Mahama economy?
I was at Miocho when he made the statement. It was in apparent reference to
I am telling you that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's point has always been the fact that we are running a Gojisberg economy, an economy that is import dependent, an economy that lacks the fundamentals would ensure that we have the industries that are building and manufacturing the things that we use in this country so that we would have a very strong currency. That principle is purely an economic principle.
So that his popular statement was not targeted at John Mahama.
I am saying that it's targeted against our economy.
John Mahama.
If you were president then, you are responsible to fix it.
So I'm saying that if you are saying now that it was targeted at the economy and not necessarily Mahama, then that would be like a cop-out. It means that because it has affected you now, you are conveniently
saying... But has he run away from it? He has accepted that, yes, even today, the fundamentals of our economy is not entirely fixed. That is true.
And he should be responsible for
it. He is responsible for it. And that is why he's asking
So why should he be given another money?
Why not? Because between him and all the others on the ballot paper, he has a scorecard that looks better than the others.
If you use the refrain of if your economy is weak, your fundamentals expose you. It was what we used to remove John Mahama in 2016 because at the time the fundamentals were bad.
Awesome.
Now the fundamentals are horrible.
No, they are not. So I'll give you what. So the fundamentals are that, for example, have an industrial base that will reduce your import dependency. Under John Mahama, he and his political party sold 300 of state-owned factories, which were supposed to be the base of our industrial drive. Under this government, we have at least 320, 169 of them that are operational. I have 2 in my constituency that are operational. That is a scorecard, evidence enough to show that.
Are you talking about the one district?
Of course.
But why do you have 2 in your district when it's supposed to be 1 per district?
Because it's the one district, 1 factory doesn't mean that everybody should have one. Even if you can have 10, you shouldn't have.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
So you have 2.
In fact, some districts have even 4.
So where?
I have the shoe fabric at the Kropon, and then I have Akro Farms in the Apasare.
Continue.
You understand? So the point is that between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Mahama, the 2 persons and the 2 governments, we have evidence of a government that deliberately have put in place mechanisms and structures to ensure that we rebuild these fundamentals that are weak, to ensure that we'll be able to fix this permanently. He doesn't have.
But we have evidence that when Mahama was leaving, the exchange rate was less than 4 cedis. Today is 16 cedis. That is evidence.
It is because the fundamentals are still weak, because we are not done fixing it.
Now
when Mahama and his government took over this country, dollar to cedi was about 90% or 1 cedi.
No, it was way more than 1 cedi.
No, it wasn't.
Kufuor did exchange rate in 2007. 1 cedi was $1.
That's what I'm saying. That 1 cedi.
No, so it was below
so
1 cedi.
How much was it?
I don't remember.
Exactly. So why are you debating something you don't remember?
No, my point is that...
How are you debating something you don't remember?
I will check.
Exactly.
So
check.
Let me
so the fact is that under his government, cedi did not appreciate against the dollar. It depreciated, which establishes the fact that the fundamentals were weak. Under this government, cedi has not appreciated. It has depreciated, Umaru, which reinforces the fact that indeed the fundamentals are weak. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has always insisted that the fundamentals are not entirely fixed yet. The fundamentals includes fixing our industrial base. It includes formalizing our economy to ensure that we don't go to budget to parliament and go and pass a budget blindly. Budget is revenue and expenditure. Here we are as a country. We can't even identify our people. We don't even know what Umaru Sanda is doing today. In fact, we don't even know that he exists. You understand? And yet we go blindly, plan for health, plan for education, plan for roads, plan for agriculture without any proper database.
I have checked.
Today,
what's it 20%?
Okay, and it went all the way to about how much? 4 cities. So
less than 4 cities.
Exactly. So the city did not appreciate, it depreciated. So the fundamentals were weak, and it is still weak.
And that's why we removed them by 1 million votes.
And that is why you need to
because we thought you had the master key to come in. You said you would, in fact, you said you would lock the dollar and throw the key, give it to the IGP. So was that policy?
So when you're no, it's not.
Because you haven't done that.
Because
CDI checkman.
Can I continue?
Yes, please continue.
Because you need to fix the fundamentals gradually.
It's taking forever.
It is not. 8 years is not forever. When you have a country whose industrial base from independence was destroyed between 1988 and 2000, you can't do it in 8 years. You cannot. And that is why when you're going to make a choice between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Mahama, you don't just go and vote and say you have 8 years to go. You go and vote and say you were president. What was your record in fixing these fundamentals? And what is the record of this government in fixing the fundamentals? This government, if not for anything today, Umaru, we all attest to the fact that we are almost there when it comes to formalizing this economy. We are almost there, and that is fact. Again, this government has evidence to show that deliberately we have put in place systems and structures to ensure that we stimulate private sector to rebuild the industrial base. We have 11 automobile companies coming into this country. That is a big deal. You don't get automobiles companies peaking in 4 years. They need time to be able to peak. Then you begin to feel the impact. Now, why do you want to truncate a government that is showing working in fixing the fundamentals and go and pick a government that came to office, didn't do any better, and has no record of anything towards building the fundamentals?
That government did not borrow us into a hole.
He borrowed from 7 billion to 129 billion. He didn't give us. He didn't leave us with any surplus.
No
anyway.
problem. You moved on from 129 billion to where?
And we moved education spend.
No problem.
No, we moved to 600 billion. About 600 billion.
Hold it. So they moved from what to what?
7 billion to 129 billion.
And you have moved from
129 to 600 billion. And guess what?
No.
And guess what? And guess what? And guess what? We have been able to keep 5.7 million children in secondary education. We have been able to build 12,000 kilometers of roads. We have been able to restore allowances that he cancelled. We have been able to employ 4 batches of teachers that he left at home. We have been able to pay teachers and doctors and nurses who work for 12 months. Under his government, after moving us from 7 billion to 129 billion, this is what he did. He left us in darkness for 4 years. He refused to pay teachers and nurses who work for 12 months, and he paid them for 3 months. Teachers and nurses who graduated in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016 were left at home without employment. He, under his government, cancelled the social safety net of poor children who needed this to be able to access college education. 100,000 of Ghanaian children were left at home every year. And so you see, it's not just about how much you borrowed. It's about what you have done with the borrowing.
Let me tell you what else he has done, John Mahama. He left behind a hospital in which your Minister for Health went to sleep during COVID-19. Okay. He became the savior of your pandemic.
Let me tell you.
He built for you medical
let me
center
tell
where
you
use as a referral center.
Let me tell you.
He built you an airport that you are celebrating today.
Let me tell you what we have done.
Built you the one at Circle,
Perfect.
Dubai.
Let me tell you. Awesome. We have built 47 hospitals. 47.
Are you sure? You said you are going to give us 111?
No, I'm telling you. Wait, 47 outside the 111. And don't forget, even the Agenda 111.
Mention one because
I can
still sleeping.
But is that the only hospital in this country?
That's the one that is ready.
Go to Okre district. They didn't have a hospital. Today they have a district hospital.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You understand? They are for a hospital. Go to the Formina Bekwai. The 6 hospitals that Kofor started and left for them in 8 years, they couldn't finish. We have come to finish. We have built 47 from scratch. Hold on.
More beneficial to us.
But the evidence is there. The evidence is there.
But the number is huge.
You borrowed from 6 billion to 7 billion to 129 billion, and you are spending 6 billion a year on education. We have borrowed from 129 to 600. We spend 18 billion a year on education. We are not the same. We are investing in the people. You built 4,000 kilometers of roads. We have built 12,000 kilometers of roads. That calculate the percentage and calculate the percentage in borrowing. Then you understand the difference.
What I don't get is why are you feeling proud about borrowing? Should you not be shy that you go to borrow and you come and eat kinky and do a party? The fact that you have outborrowed your previous your
do you know the countries who owe the most in this world? The first world countries.
You told us that borrowing was bad.
Do you know the countries who owe the most?
They didn't tell us that borrowing was bad.
If you borrow and chew, like you borrow and use it to buy meat and kebab, then you are causing problems. But if you are borrowing and investing in the people like we are doing, then you are borrowing right. Now, Daco Farms, you know Daco Farms, it collapsed. Today, the KFC you ate this afternoon.
I didn't eat KFC this afternoon.
Well, the KFC you ate in the course of this week.
Please,
it's as a result.
It's it on the road.
It is as a result of the investment that this government has made into Daco Farms.
How?
And that is why, yes.
KFC, they buy their chickens
from
Daco Farms.
Yes,
okay.
They used to import a lot of it.
Now they stopped.
Yes. Casapreco had a company at Coca-Cola Spintex. Okay. Today, this government has invested in Casapreco, supported Casapreco, and they have another plant in Kumasi, employing more people. This government has built 12,000 kilometers of road. No government in the Fourth Republic has built this much road in 8 years.
But then it's also no government in our republic has seen pensioners go and demonstrate, including a chief justice that you appointed yourself, going to demonstrate to say, give us our money. And you are
no government in the Fourth Republic experienced a pandemic like we did in COVID. The last time the world experienced COVID was in 1918, 1920, the Spanish flu, 120 years ago. So the difference is clear. So the challenges are there. The difficulties are there. The enormity of the challenges and difficulties are as a result of the times that we find ourselves in. But there's one thing that this government has done. This government has stood in and stood up high, chest out, without saying, I'm tired. Do whatever you want to do to me. I'm a dead goat. I'm not afraid of knives. This government has said, listen, there are difficulties, there are challenges. But we believe that when we stick together and work together, we'll be able to get ourselves out of it. That is why, for the first time in the history of Fourth Republic, as you can recall, the same government had a very torrid time with the economy in 2022. Okay, dollar moved from 6 cedis, 5 cedis, all the way to 17 somewhere in November 2022. Inflation went all the way to 54%, but the same government has brought it down from 54 to just about 20%. It's never happened.
But why should we celebrate you for fixing a mess you created?
No, the mess was not created by this government. It is a complete dishonesty on the part of people like you.
You said to us that you know how to bring the economy back.
When the economy
is limping still.
We are bringing it back, and that is why it went to 50.
It's taking forever.
54 to 20 is not taking forever. 54% to 20. John Mahama that you are saying that is an alternative. He doesn't have a single record of bringing inflation down even by 0.5%. He took inflation from about 8.6% and took us to 15.4%. Now, between a government that has evidence of moving inflation from 15.4% to 8% in their first term, and then has evidence of the inflation going so bad to about 54% and still bringing it down, against a government that has not a single evidence of bringing inflation down by even 1%, which government would you go for? A government that is able to survive difficulties and challenges and work with you to improve is always that government that you stand for, and not the one that has no record of doing anything about it.
The free SHS you are touting is having its own challenges, a number of them actually. Food supply, infrastructure and all of that. The nursing allowance you talk about, they have not been paid, they have not been posted. How is that something you should be celebrating?
Free SHS challenges are not as a result of the fact that government is paying school fees for these children. Free SHS policy is only one thing. The bill that they used to give you at a Suchare to go and give to your parents, and then you get money.
I went to Tema Secondary School, not Asuchari.
No, well, you take it to Asuchari.
Okay.
Junction. That they will give it to Tema Secondary School at Tema Secondary, and then you take to Asuchari. That bill is what comes to government, and government pays for you.
Yes.
Now, that is not the reason why we don't have so much food in school. That is not the reason why we have 40 children in the class when it should be 30. When I was in Ukwapaman school, in some classrooms, you have the desk coming all the way to the blackboard. We didn't have free SHS. In some classrooms, when I was in Ukwapaman school, in some dormitories, we're sleeping on the beds in twos. We didn't have free SHS. Free SHS simply says that the fees that you're going to pay, for which reason over 100,000 of our children could not pay, government will pay for you. Go to school. As a result of that, the numbers tripled.
They said you should wait until you fix your.
So whose child should wait? Whose child should wait?
You do.
That is why in the 8 years. That is why in the 8 years of the NDC in office, they churned out close to about 1 million left on the streets. Now this 1 million, you said they should wait, and then you left them. At what point were you going to bring them back to the classroom?
Until you finish building the email.
Now, since we started free SHS, in spite of these challenges, hasn't these children gone to school and come out? In fact, the best performance in WASE has come as under free SHS. Fact. We have less endowed schools, little known schools, performing extraordinarily under free SHS as National Science and Maths quiz. My beloved McGee's at Manfi. Okay, my beloved McGee's at Manfi. Under free SHS are winning global robotics competitions. What are you talking about? So you see, the choice is clear. A government that says that let's churn out 100,000 to stay at home so that we build the classroom small. And a government that says, in spite of challenges, let's shoulder these challenges and get everybody through school. Make a choice. And the Ghanaian people will stand by that government that says everybody should go to school.
Thank you so much, Dennis Miracles Aboagye, Director Communication, DMB Campaign. Thank you for joining us.
We finished?
Yeah, we are done.
Why?
You haven't paid for the rest of the airtime. This is where the news ends. No. Dennis Miracles Aboagye wants to pay me tabletop so that we'll extend time. Why?
Yeah, but
go and see
Omani. They can't play music.
Go and see Omani Mensa.
They can't play. My chairman.
Go and see Omani
Chairman, oh, chairman.
He's our business development
manager. So here the BDM. But if I go as chairman.
Hey, don't talk about this one in public. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. This has been Eyewitness News. I did this with Akosia Ochre. Production by Kobina Wilson and Sami Wiafe. Technical production by Daniel Squashi and Thomas Obinda Akun. Jimon also helped us with the new media side of things. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT.